Maya's heart hammered against her ribs as she spotted him across the crowded ballroom. Derek, her ex, weaving through the glittering crowd with that predatory smile she knew too well. She had come to this charity gala at 8:30 p.m., specifically because he'd told her he wouldn't be here. Another lie. She should have known better. Her hands trembled as she clutched her champagne glass, eyes darting around the opulent space filled with crystal chandeliers and women in designer gowns. The orchestra played softly in the background, but all she could hear was the blood rushing in her ears. Derek was getting closer, his eyes locked on her with that familiar intensity that used to feel like love, but now felt suffocating. Without thinking, Maya spun around and crashed directly into a solid wall of a man. Strong hands steadied her shoulders as her champagne splashed onto his expensive-looking suit. She looked up, prepared to apologize, but the words died in her throat. The man before her was striking. Dark hair, sharp jawline, and eyes that were both curious and kind. "I'm so sorry," she whispered urgently, then made a split-second decision born of pure panic. She grabbed his arm with both hands and leaned in close. "Please, I need your help. My ex is coming this way, and I can't talk to him. Could you just pretend you know me? Just for a minute?" The stranger's expression shifted from surprise to understanding in a heartbeat. Something in her desperate eyes must have convinced him, because he smoothly wrapped an arm around her waist, pulling her close with surprising gentleness. "Of course," he said quietly, his voice deep and reassuring. "Just follow my lead. Maya!" Derek's voice cut through the crowd like a knife. She felt her companion's arm tighten protectively around her. She turned, forcing herself to breathe. Derek stood 3 feet away, his smile not quite reaching his eyes. He was handsome in that polished way he'd always been, but now she could only see the manipulation beneath the surface. "Derek," she managed, her voice steadier than she felt thanks to the solid presence beside her. "I didn't expect to see you here." Derek's gaze slid to the man holding her, and something flickered across his face. Was that recognition? "I thought we could talk." "There's nothing to talk about," Maya said. "We ended things 3 months ago. Come on, we both know you didn't mean that. You're just being dramatic." Derek reached for her hand, but the stranger smoothly shifted, placing himself slightly between them. "I don't believe we've been introduced," the stranger said, his tone polite but with an edge of steel. "I'm Adrian." Derek's eyes widened almost imperceptibly. "Adrian?" "Castellano." The name meant nothing to Maya, but she felt Adrian nod. "And you are?" "Derek Morrison. I was Maya's boyfriend." Derek's confidence seemed to waver. "Mr. Castellano, I had no idea you and Maya were... I've been following your company's expansion into renewable energy. Castellano Industries is revolutionary." Maya's mind reeled. Castellano Industries. She knew that name. Everyone did. It was one of the largest tech conglomerates in the world, which meant the man whose arm she desperately grabbed was Adrian Castellano, the billionaire CEO whose face graced business magazines monthly. "We're being the operative word," Adrian said coolly. "Maya has mentioned you. I believe she's been quite clear about not wanting contact." Derek's face flushed. "Look, this is between me and Maya." "No," Maya interrupted, surprised by the strength in her own voice. "It's not between us anymore, Derek. You showed up at my apartment unannounced 4 times last week. You called me 63 times on Tuesday. This needs to stop. I was worried about you," Derek protested, but his eyes had gone hard. "You're not thinking clearly. You need someone to take care of you." "What she needs," Adrian said quietly, "is for you to respect her wishes and leave her alone." The tension hung thick in the air. Around them, other guests had started to notice the confrontation. Derek looked between them, his jaw clenched, and Maya could see him calculating his options. Finally, he stepped back. "Fine. Enjoy your evening." He turned and disappeared into the crowd, but not before shooting Maya a look that promised this wasn't over. Maya let out a breath she didn't know she'd been holding. Adrian's arm remained around her waist, steady and reassuring. "Are you all right?" he asked softly. She nodded, then shook her head, feeling tears prick at her eyes. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I dragged you into that. I just panicked when I saw him, and you were there, and I—" She stepped back, suddenly mortified. "And apparently you're some kind of billionaire CEO, and I just grabbed you like you were my personal bodyguard." Adrian's lips curved into a gentle smile. "I've been called worse. And for what it's worth, you were very convincing." He paused, his expression growing serious. "Is he always like that? The showing up, the calling?" Maya wrapped her arms around herself. "It's gotten worse since I ended things. I thought coming here tonight would be safe because he told me he wasn't attending. I should have known better." "Maya." Adrian said her name like he'd known her for years rather than minutes. "That's stalking. Have you documented any of it?" The word made her flinch, but she knew he was right. "Some. I have screenshots of the calls and messages." Adrian pulled out his phone. "I'm going to give you my lawyer's number. She's excellent with restraining orders. And—" He hesitated. "This might be forward, but I'd like to make sure you get home safely tonight." "I can arrange a car for you." Maya studied him, this stranger who'd stepped in without hesitation when she needed help. "Why are you being so kind to me?" "Because someone should be," he said simply. "And because I've seen what happens when people ignore the warning signs." "My sister." He trailed off, pain flickering across his face. "Let's just say I know how important it is to take this seriously." Something shifted in Maya's chest. She took the phone number he offered, then smiled, a real smile this time. "Thank you, Adrian. Really. For everything." "There's one condition," he said, and her stomach dropped until she saw the warmth in his eyes. "When this is all settled and you're feeling safe again, let me take you to dinner. A proper one, where you don't have to pretend to know me." Maya laughed, despite everything. "That's the strangest pickup line I've ever heard. Is it working?" She looked at him, this unexpected protector who'd appeared exactly when she needed him, and felt something like hope flutter in her chest. "Ask me again in a few weeks," she said. "After I've gotten that restraining order," Adrian smiled. "I'll hold you to that." He offered his arm. "Now let me escort you to your car, and Maya? You were incredibly brave tonight." As they walked through the glittering ballroom, Maya realized that sometimes the person you need finds you in the most unexpected way, and sometimes grabbing onto a stranger changes everything.